I hear that you want to read classics, but you feel intimidated. I've got just the recommendations that you need. Here are 3 short classics that you should pick up. Starting with one which is less than 50 pages, one that's just a few pages over 100 pages, and one that's less than 200 pages. All varying lengths and beautiful stories. So the first book I will recommend is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This book is less than 20 pages long. It's about a woman who gives birth and is obviously suffering from postnatal depression, but at the time that she's going through this, the doctor prescribes her bed rest, which means that she's put into a room in isolation away from her baby and is told to rest until she feels better. But obviously, if you lock a woman up who's got postnatal depression or any sort of mental health conditions, isolate her away from anyone, no social interaction, no work, nothing, it's only going to negatively amplify her mental health illness. And that's exactly what happens in this short psychological horror. It's such a fascinating and important read. I highly recommend it. The next book I recommend is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This is such a beautiful novel. This book follows the story of 2 friends, George and Lenny. George has a protective relationship over Lenny, who has a mental disability, and he is his protector. He absolutely takes care of Lenny and adores him. They have a dream together to own some land, and they are drifting through different areas trying to find work and fulfill their dream of owning land. But with the challenges that come with Lenny's understanding of the world, we see how George protects Lenny and the difficult decisions he has to face in protecting his friend and taking care of him. It's such a heart-wrenching novel. It's 106 pages. It's a short, spectacular read, and I highly recommend it. Next, I want to recommend my absolute favourite classic that I've read to date, and that is Madonna in a Fur Coat by Sabahattin Ali. It so beautifully explores the pain you can feel from a relationship that was left unfulfilled. It follows the story of a lonely man who is not given much worth by his father, and he travels to Berlin to find some work. When he is feeling lonely, he starts visiting a museum, and whilst sat in the museum, he sees a painting called The Madonna in a Fur Coat. He becomes absolutely fascinated by this painting, and he comes and sits there every day in the museum to stare at this painting. And then one day a woman comes up to him and speaks to him, and from there this story of his love, his yearning begins. It's such a beautiful story of heartbreak, yearning, and the desire to love someone who is so out of reach. It's less than 200 pages long. I highly recommend it. These were my top 3 beginner-friendly classic recommendations. Let me know if you're thinking of picking them up, and if you do read them, let me know what you think.